The Department of the Interior is in charge of about 20% of the land in the United States. The secretary of that department is in the Crosse and Onalaska area touring the upper Mississippi River and discussing a major source of funding to the outdoors that could be in jeopardy. News 8's Kyle Dimke joins us now with that story.
Well, the Land and Water Conservation Act was passed in 1965, and it's set to expire at the end of September. It's funded through offshore drilling for gas and oil, and it goes to help conserve our land and water. Congress needs to reauthorize this act before it expires, otherwise risk losing one of the major funding sources for wildlife conservation in the U.S. The Upper Mississippi Wildlife Refuge spans 240,000 acres, from Lake Pepin to the Quad Cities in Iowa. In the past 8 to 10 years, the refuge has benefited greatly from the Land and Water Conservation Fund, with more to come.
In this refuge, we've had about 4,000 acres that we've purchased recently with the Land and Water Conservation Fund. We have another $2 million right now available to purchase land, and we've got a couple of acquisitions in the hopper.
Advocates for the reauthorization of the LWCF Act, Congressman Ron Kind and the Secretary of the Interior, Sally Jewell, are out on the mighty Mississippi to see firsthand how valuable this funding is.
This is a great example of very accessible public land that can bring the outdoors and nature into people's everyday lives. This refuge gets 4 million visitors a year, 4 million. It's near the top of the entire National Wildlife Refuge system, and frankly, it's a lot more than many of our iconic national parks, like Yellowstone, for example.
Listen, we don't have pyramids, we don't have a Great Wall, we don't have those other iconic landmarks, but we do have this monument to civilization.
Secretary Jewell says if Congress does not reauthorize the fund, hundreds of millions of dollars would be at stake to be taken from conservation efforts and put towards anything else Congress wants to spend it on.
Its reauthorization is really important because there is a lot of people that would like to grab the money from LWCF to use it for their pet projects.
Both Congressman Kind and the Secretary of the Interior say this act has plenty of bipartisan support, so it should be reauthorized. It will be discussed when Congress is back in session following Labor Day.
Thank you, Kyle. The outdoor recreation industry is a nearly $12 billion industry in Wisconsin each year, and it employs more than 140,000 people.